This content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper Goren Holm or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
Well, I've been a blockchain loser for 118 long weeks. I've spent all my Tezos on these awesome NFTs. We've bet our life savings on these chains that are made of blocks. But it's Tuesday night, buddies. I'll have my nifty spirits on the rocks. Another chain launches, another boring stone airdrop. Transactions per second, decentralized Sailor Gary shots. Gary V was a rad guest and Along's a mediocre host, but there's no crypto without community, and this is the one that I love the most. So welcome to the newbies, and welcome to old friends. These brutal weeks in crypto feel like they never end, but we're gathered on this live stream for another blockchain and booze show with the legend Kevin Murabi and all our Tezos NFT friends, so let's fucking go. What's up, guys? Blockchain booth number 118. By the way, I just saw halfway through that the remote system that everybody goes and hangs out in, .blockchainbooth.io, was broken. So I fixed it, and hopefully if you're watching on one of the streams, I know there's a lot of you. I'm seeing some funny comments on YouTube and everywhere else. Come join us at meet.blockchainbooth.io because you'll be able to ask questions to these guys, but also jump onto some tables afterwards and goof around and hang out with us. Turn on your camera and all that fun stuff. Welcome, guys. Number 118. Let's do it. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So we've got a good, I think this is going to be a good one. It's going to be fun. My mic is low, or can you guys hear me?
You sound fine to me. His TV's low, I think.
It was higher before, but like the volume was higher, but then it dropped out.
I could probably turn it up somehow or get closer to it. I'll figure it out. All right. John D says I'm good, so that means I'm good. And yeah, TK, just turn up more guitar. Only more guitar if Kevin pulls out his.
I don't know how to play.
Steve, what's happening?
I don't know how to play the guitar. It's just for show. Okay.
No way. So just like me.
Yeah. I think most guitar owners in this country are just.
I can play like 4 chords, and that's all we need, right?
I signed up for that Fender course where I never used it once.
I did it during quarantine. I signed up for it, and I did like 15 minutes of it, and then I saw it on my credit card statement and unsubscribed a month later.
Was that you really
One
playing
day.
the thing? The intro?
What was that?
Was that you really playing in the intro? just
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I mean,
You have knowledge.
You can play.
it's like 4 chords, and so the trick is that
I have
I'm a
no
nerd
idea.
for all sorts of old folk songs and things like that. So when I wanted to originally, I think it was episode number 69, I wanted it to be weird, and I had Crypto Stash on, and I think I had Ken Bozak on, and because I wanted it to be funny, I was trying to find like a drinking song, and I remembered there was this old song called Moonshiner. So basically, I watered down a really old song that was like, basically the song is something like I've been a moonshiner for 18 long years. I spent all my money on whiskey and beer, and I changed it to be about spending our money on shit coins and NFTs. And here we are. Yeah, and it was Scott. That was my ape, aka Punk Ape Strong. Shots with Kevin. We'll do shots of coffee.
It's coffee. Espresso shots.
Ooh, I'm down. We need to get an espresso shot.
That's more dangerous. I don't
know. So, guys, episode number 118. We're all huge Tezos NFT fans.
Jakarta today.
You're in Jakarta?
Jakarta upgrade.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
live.
Sorry.
I am in Jakarta right
I had
now.
one sip
For
of
Jakarta.
So, but let's, Jakarta today. Why don't we start? Well, let's quickly. Then I'm gonna end we'll do a circle really quick with Joab, Paggy, then Kevin will be the last to introduce herself, and we'll start with Kevin giving us what the hell is Jakarta and why should we care and what should we know, because you'll be perfect to answer.
Oh, I'm the worst person for that. Get someone more technical.
That's what you say.
I'll get so much hate on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I won't make you say anything.
Well, we should go to the actual. The big one. Ithaca was a big game changer. In that, like, that's when Tenderbait came out. So Jakarta is like the things that I know the things that I look forward to. So one of the things is like a big fix for two of the things that I've been looking forward to. One is for shielded transactions, like the ZK channel. So you could do like what Zcash does. You could apply that to Tez and Tez tokens. So
we've been talking about that for a long time, right? And part of the upgrades made that. So
it's to fix it. Like, there was a mechanism for it, but we didn't have it used for the last year because of that. So that was a fix. And the other one that I was really looking forward to was the ticket upgrade. So tickets was also another thing that came out like a year ago, but this has been a big overhaul and upgrade to that. So that's a big use. And what that means for the average person. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. There's a lot of creatively that people can come up with ideas, but it's a way of doing whitelisting without having to do whitelisting. So your wallet acts as like a whitelist. So that's and once you open that,
what do you mean? What do you mean that your wallet acts like a whitelist?
So on a protocol level, you could say, all right, these rights and permissions goes to this TZ address, this wallet. That way you don't have to do something where does this person have this NFT there? And then okay, well then that's good for this unlockable of this other thing. That's an added step. Instead, it's either this person has the ticket or not. So I think an equivalent was some people were saying Vitalik talking about the idea of unmovable or untransferable NFTs in that sense.
It's permission. It creates a permission system, and if every sort of user it has a Tezos address, then you can permission certain addresses to transact or to do certain things. And that makes sense because in contracts, for example, you can you sort of hard code who is the creator of the contract or who is the admin of the contract, and you can update that somewhat, but it's not the same as multiple types of permissions and things like that. Building that in a protocol level makes sense.
Yeah. Paggy, what are you looking at for Jakarta? What's got you interested?
You are speaking to probably the least tech person on this panel. I'm basically learning from what you're going to tell us now.
Well, the other thing, and this is the part that it's nebulous for me, but this is probably the most talked about thing, is the like optimistic rollups. So the idea is like for layer 2 things that you want to start creating and being able to scale that out. Jakarta was meant to enable that. Yeah, so that's the big infrastructural change, and that's been the thing that's talked about the most. That you could do like these optimistic rollups. So yeah, layer 2 stuff. I think that's going to be great for gaming. I mean, gaming. I think there are a lot of use cases there. For DeFi, sure. And a lot of institutions coming in and stuff maybe they'd want on their own, like a separate layer to do stuff, but ultimately writing to Tezos chain. Yeah, so but like the way it'll take form and like who will actually start utilizing it first, I think that'll be interesting to see. But in my mind, I imagine gaming using it more than anyone. So yeah, like
we're happy about permanent testnet. That's going to be something that's going to save our lives, because testnet would update or roll up into Ithaca or roll up into the previous version. And so now that we have a permanent testnet, we'll be able to just not have to update all different things on both sides, on production and testnet. So that's I think what our team's the most excited about.
So the testnet is not like a separate network?
Well, it's no longer going to be like subject to. There was like Ithaca Net. There was like before that there was like Hangzhou Net. Yeah, now it's just going to be like permanent testnet that we just keep one and done, and that one gets upgraded. And you don't have.
Why did it take so long to get a permanent testnet? Because I've followed that story, but like I said, I'm not particularly tech, so I've never understood. But I never really understood why the testnet wasn't permanent.
No.
I think even
a question to ask.
Like, even in the governance phase, there was like a shift from like originally there was between the exploration phase and then the exploration vote and then the promotion vote, there was the testing period, which later like a year-ish, or I think it was the Florence upgrade, it changed to be the cooldown period. And I might be wrong on this, but from what I remember, like don't totally quote me, there was like a test net that was more like official that everyone went to use and try it out. But then I think what happened was it turned out that not everyone's like testing would, like, it wasn't great for everybody's testing to try that like one size fits all test net, and then people needed to try their own standards and stuff like that. So the cooldown period was like deploy your own test net and try it out for your dApps and all that stuff to kind of localize it towards people. So there was a shift there. So I don't know how that relates, if probably not at all, but just to the fact that like people are still figuring out like what's the best way of getting test nets going, and a struggle that has been the case. No upgrade in recent memory has been without some kind of a hiccup as people have transitioned, or like dApps have transitioned and whatnot, indexers, as things have changed. It's gotten better and better, but it used to be like, I remember when Granada happened, there was a big fallout of that. But that really came down to people not trying test nets before we made the transition, even though there were all these attempts made to improve that process and encourage people. Like there's a whole like part of the governance cycle just so people could test it out, but people weren't doing it until the upgrade actually happened. So yeah, I think it's a lot of trial and error and figuring out like, so maybe this is
That's what happens with our beta testers too. Nobody tests anything we put out into beta, and then we just end up testing in production, and that's so far. So, but it does make changes and everything for Dystopia.
I think we should do a monthly live stream hang session, where we do like stream beta tests. I know that Kevin, we've done, like when we I don't know if we ever streamed it. Did we stream it when we did the first transaction? Did we stream it, or did we just like do it together and tweet about it?
We streamed it, the first cross-chain atomic swap, first ETH to Tez bridge, like truly decentralized one. That was we did that. Soon we got to do one for the first lending operation.
I wasn't gonna say that out loud because I wasn't sure if we were supposed to say that, but
oh, we can. Now we're that close. Yeah. Well, the testnet has been running for months now, and the last few weeks it's been an open, like we announced it, like it wasn't just people stumbling on it and trying it out. And yeah, there's now hundreds and hundreds of people doing it and coming into the Discord for Tezfin, and yeah, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. A lot of the feedback has been really productive as well. So yeah,
that's awesome. So we kind of jumped in without doing any introductions or whatever. So since Kevin, you're talking about Tezfin first, just tell everyone who the heck you are. I know that we've talked Tezos so many times on Blockchain and Booze. I know a lot of people know, but just give your background. And what I will say is that Kevin was one of my first intros into like the Tezos community. Not just like I heard about Tezos, and I know that Tim was an early investor in the crowd sale and all that stuff, and I knew about it. But Kevin was, and is
I seduced you,
the dude in LA, right? Who was just like, Tezos needs to be at LA Blockchain Summit. We need to do this. We need to do that. Like, I need to tell you about what's going on at Tezos. And we hung out, and
yeah, we did a lot of
Kevin, I would say we learned so much about what's going on in the space, and so it'll be cool for you to tell us about Tezfin and what you're working on, but then let's talk to Joab and Paggy and talk Tezos NFTs.
Yeah. I'm Kevin Marabi. I've been part of Tezos since the 2017 crowd sale. I didn't get active in doing stuff in the space till 2018. And then around 2019, 2020, we started Stable Tech, and that's when we did the first stablecoin on Tezos, USD, fully backed USD Tez. First ETH wrap on Tezos, ETH Tez. We have BTC Tez, TezX, as I mentioned, the first cross-chain bridge. And some really interesting advances we're going to announce soon on that front of next phases for TezX. And then Tezfin, which is our latest and greatest production. And that's the first lending system on Tezos. First market maker, or money market, that is. Not market maker. So you'll be able to lend, borrow, do all that stuff. That'll be like Compound or Aave on Tezos. That's the one element still missing from the Tezos DeFi ecosystem. And once we have that, it'll scale up Tezos DeFi and thereby the rest of the Tezos economy. So big Tezos enthusiast. Glad to be with these guys. What they're doing, I think, is just far more epic and interesting than any of that stuff.
Well, I think it's a whole ecosystem thing, right? And in the crypto space, we always talked about how like gaming and things like that are going to bring mass adoption and everything. But it turns out, it's a combination of everything. And I think you need all the elements and pieces of the puzzle, and because gaming is fun and everything, but people want to be able to then swap between one native game token and another, or borrow a few bucks to buy into the next game, or like I will tell you the times I participate the most in Tezos DeFi, because I don't use centralized exchanges for any trading. It's kind of like a weird it's like a point of just pride for me, or maybe I'm just a goofball, but like I only will use the dexes, and the times I use the dexes, 99% of the time I'm using them because I'm swapping from one thing to buy an NFT, or to, oh shit, I had Joab on a call. Now I got to buy all the Tezotopia pieces, and oh shit, I got to mint some Atez, and I'm swapping, between something and Tezos or whatever, so I can do that. So yeah, that's true. Just throwing this out there.
Yeah. I was like, my hair's a mess, first of all, and so I was like, I need to get a cap, and the only cap that I could find was the one that matched the shirt that I have on. So here
I walk out the bedroom almost every day, and a family member looks at me sideways like, that doesn't match, and I go, well, people only see this part of my body, so what does it matter?
Sometimes, like subconsciously, I put on a shirt that matches my shorts or pants, and I don't realize it until I point it out, and I'm just like, oh, I'm that guy.
Hey, it's cool. So Joab, let's talk to you. Let's get your background and tell us about Tezotopia.
I am Joab Garza. I am the founder of Tezotopia, creator of Tezotopia. We run gift games. What we're trying to do with gift games is build out a game ecosystem where there's a sustainable economy between all the resources that we use within Tezotopia. So I think the first step for us was kind of giving value to those resources and those tokens. And so now we're going to expand, launch other games that use those resources as well. And our plan long term is also to have the cross NFTs between games.
Well, yeah, like today, really, like 5 minutes before we went live, I discovered that my Atez were also warriors in Tezotopia. And so I've got all these warriors I didn't know I had, which is pretty cool. I think stuff like that's super fun.
Yeah, so some more stuff like that we want to do, especially like bring in Tezos community, relevant projects and bring those into our ecosystem of games as well. So there's a lot we can do with NFTs, and I think it's fun exploring that in gaming and launching, NFT projects where that NFT just doesn't live in one place. It could travel across even chains. We're excited about what we're doing. We're excited, up to the point where we've been. We launched the project last May, and we've been around a year and change now, and still kicking, still going strong. And right now, our focus is to build during this bear market. And on the other side of it, I know it's going to be great for us and great for investors, and we just keep building out our ecosystem.
Love it. Super cool. Paggy, give us the Atez update. The Atez update, right? As we discovered, we're supposed to say Atez.
Is it Atez?
Well, Americans call it Otez, and
I call it Atez.
Brits call it Otez.
Atez. But you were saying we have to say it with like a New Yorkie kind of accent, so it sounds like otters, but like Atez. Yeah. Or I don't know if that's a New Yorkie accent. I don't know accents. I don't know. How do you say it, Kevin?
Atez.
I think I say Atez.
That's how I say Atez as well.
I think a lot of people call it Otez because they emphasize the Tez, but
yeah,
you can call it whatever you want.
By the way, I have like all the NFT TZ domain names. Like I bought them when I thought I was like, when NFTs were launching on Tezos for the first time, I bought nftz.io everything because I was like, somebody's going to launch an NFTs website and like, I'll be able to give them the domain name. But I've tried to give it to so many people and nobody bought them from me. No, not even bought from me. I couldn't even give it to people. I'm disappointed. Like object should be like NFTs, right? Like,
yeah,
they should be picking that up.
I also own assets, by the way, but with TZ at the end.
Oh,
pretty good.
Yeah, on Tezos domain, like that, I found that's like a case I have to, like, if I'll buy something that's like a plural, like, or it would end in an S, or the TS. I have to
that ends with a T.
Yeah,
a TS needs to just be TZ, right?
Yeah, because there's just no like, oh, some asshole's going to come in and they're going to get the TZ version, and that's going to be the thing. I got to get both, and I got to sell them as a package if I'm going to flip it, or otherwise use them both.
I never sell domain names. I just hold them forever and then, never actually do anything. You know what? I got the other day. By the way, while I have the Tezos community on, I don't squat on like .tez domain names or anything, but I do have fred.tez, and somebody accused me of squatting on it. Somebody named Fred accused me of squatting on it on Twitter, but I'm holding it for Freddie from who was doing Coin Squad, but now he's doing H2 Crypto. It's his domain. I bought it for him for his birthday. I just haven't transferred it yet. So don't accuse me of squatting on like a generic name. That's not me.
Now you're going to get accused of squatting on me.
Although I bought Joseph.tez back in the day, and I didn't tell Joseph I bought it because I was just waiting for the moment for him to think somebody squatted on it and get pissed off, and then I gave it to him. It was awesome. So I mean, I would like actually one quick random thing, not Tezos related, but it's sort of NFT and community related. I'd like to get your guys' opinion. Kevin, you from being in so many communities and doing all the clubhouses and all the talks that you do, and Joab and Paggy from kind of leading your communities. As an example of being out of the loop, right? I didn't know until 5 minutes before this that all my Ates were warriors in Tezotopia, right? And I probably would have known that if I like lived in the Discord channels, right? But I hate Discord, and it's so full of spam for me, and I just can't handle it that I stopped using it. How do you guys feel about sort of Discord being like the central place? Is that a good thing? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it should be Twitter? Do you think it should be something else? I'd love to get your guys' opinions.
I think it's the best place to coordinate a community at the moment. Whether something else will come out, I don't think you can coordinate a community properly on Twitter, because you'd have to pretty much run spaces constantly to keep people updated and to keep the interactions going. I think Discord is the best option at the moment for keeping the interaction with any community and answering questions when they come up and being able to manage all the different stuff that you've got through different channels on there. I mean, I know what you mean. Discord isn't perfect, and you do get an awful lot of spam sent your way, and it can be a bit hectic, especially when you've got 250 different servers that you're trying to keep up to date with.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. Is like, I gave my nephew my phone at a family event one time. I was like, fix Discord for me. And for like a week, it was awesome because he fixed all the privacy settings and all the stuff, and I wasn't getting all these spam messages. And then I joined a few more Discord channels like a week later, and it was all broken again. And I think it's just, you have to be disciplined about like every time you join a channel to change the settings and do all those things.
Yeah, I usually mute a channel if I join it.
By the way, I'm gonna throw something out here again really quick. If you're hanging in one of the streams, come to meet.blockchainbooze.io, because I'm going to start taking questions from the audience in the Q&A. BB Studios in the chat, by the way, is saying Tezotopia's Discord is very well maintained. Hats off to Joab and the crew. So
yeah, if it's maintained well, it's fine. And I think also, like, I know you said that, like, oh, there's spam and all that. I think the best part of Discord is that you can control the spam a lot better than other things. You can turn off like the DMs if you like. You can there's verified, like you have to verify to come in if someone puts that.
Those are the best kind of channels
I remember 2016 to 2018, it was like Slack, and then it moved totally over to Telegram.
Oh, and then, Telegram's the worst.
Yeah, but Telegram is the worst. I mean, you don't know what you're getting there. There's so much identity theft going on, a lot of trickery, a lot of toxicity too. I mean, but it's still like we use it a lot because it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it is that openness that also enables so much more that you otherwise couldn't get. But Slack kind of made the most sense, but also it was just so proprietary. It didn't really fit the ethos or the practice of the crypto world, and they started just like charging you after you went to a very ridiculously small limit of anything. But Discord was around then, but people weren't using it. It really fell out of favor quickly, but they did a really great, like, they made the right pivots to correct the model, and then it just became perfect. And then there was actually there's like a big Tezos we call it main Tezos Discord now, but there was another one before, but it was just abandoned, and people had forgotten, because like there was this whole era when no one was using Discord, and people forgot, like, wait, who runs that? So then another one popped up, but that's how it was, like Discord then and Discord now. So
well, I mean, I would say Slack is probably a better product, but the only Slack channel I'm in, I think, is the Tezos. I'm in two. One of our portfolio companies, they use Slack, and so I check in every once in a while. And then whenever I need help on something related to hacking something together on Tezos, I'm in the Tezos developer Slack, which actually is a really good resource, really good people. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the comments here. Yeah. So okay, I got your guys' opinions. I think I just feel like there's got to be something better for our space, but maybe I'm just not giving Discord enough love, like just because. And there's also like I can't just keep up with too many of those channels and communities, right? And so you'll inevitably miss things. So yeah, I don't know. But
there was a social media project that was trying to come out specifically for crypto projects. I don't know if I can mention its name on here or not. But I don't know whether they launched yet, but they were basically, they hated Discord, so they were trying to launch this new.
I think there's a bunch of them. I know that there's a few of them where it's like basically like token gated by what NFTs you hold and different things like that. But it's, you know, it's really tough. Everybody's not just talking shit about LinkedIn. I don't know. LinkedIn, you know, is a bad product, but there's some good use cases. Like, you know, going in it's bad, but you still use it every once in a while. I don't know. So okay, but I mean, I going back to the actual topic of this, we're supposed to talk about Tezos, NFTs, and games and things like that. You know, I'm a huge fan of Tezos NFTs. Early on, we participated in Calamint, for example, and Calamint basically was, you know, one of the first to launch an actual marketplace on there. They launched about the same time as Hen back in the day. And back in the day, how long ago was this? Like a year ago?
Like March 2021,
a month
maybe.
So we're a year and a couple months into
mass because we launched
NFTs. I will say,
a little bit after
I have some NFTs minted pre-Hen. Just saying.
Yeah.
Collector's items.
The NFTZ dot.
That's true.
Whatever you have.
NFTs, NFTZ. I was doing at the time there was a project, and I think you can still access it through GitHub and do some interesting things. But there was a thing called Open Minter that was trying to be an open source Tezos marketplace, Tezos NFT marketplace that you could build on yourself. I used that to mint some NFTs, to goof around. I did a few on the command line just to learn, and then also my daughter did a collection on rainbowunicorn.fun, but I think I broke that website. It's still like up in some weird form, but I think it's broken, so you can't actually see her NFTs.
I think they're all still using, I think at least to some degree or another, the Open Minter framework. Like Ken started with that, and Calamint, they all. There's a whole new class now.
Yeah, I think if you just go to openminter.com, there's still a site there, right? Oh no, maybe not.
Go to Tezos.art. There's an Open Minter section at the bottom for developers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, rainbowunicorn.fun actually has an old version of Open Minter still installed on there. If you click on Marketplace, you'll actually see all the Open Minter NFTs that have been listed for sale anywhere. That's the part that I broke on her site. It was supposed to only show her NFTs, but I ruined it.
By the way, someone's saying still salty about the way Hen went. It's still an actively used contract. If you look at DApp Radar, it's still doing one of the top in general. And Tezos NFT marketplaces, like DApp Radar, I've been talking to them. Like they really got to start segmenting, for one thing, like artist marketplaces versus like Axie Marketplace or Element, or like these things that are like just for specific games. Like they're not actually like artist marketplaces the way we think of them. And then like if you were to dissect it further and all, like Magic Eden, like those are not the numbers. Obviously, they're not beating OpenSea in users and volume. But like if you were to really like go down to, I mean, for art, for singulars, non-PFPs, Tezos is leading. By far, like by far. And
yeah,
then,
well, also in terms of, but is there a way, I was trying to check, is there a good way for people to compare like transaction volume versus dollar volume? Because DApp Radar and those places tend to do DeFi by dollars, right? Not necessarily by transaction volume.
yeah, they convert the numbers to US dollars. So I think that's pretty accurate in itself. But the yeah, like the numbers for, I didn't even think that the Tezos marketplace volume would be as high as it is without having a complete DeFi ecosystem. But apparently, so what I'm imagining is once we scale Tezfin and the other lending systems come out too, not just Tezfin. But once that happens, once we have this like system of lending and borrowing, and then liquidity can actually stay in the Tezos ecosystem and then grow exponentially. Wow, where are these numbers going to be heading in the future? Where is this volume going to go? So that's why it's hard for me to flip anything. Like, I don't want to sell it because I'm thinking, like, am I just like shortchanging myself because we haven't scaled the ecosystem yet, and all of this is just gonna like change very quickly? So yeah, I'm very protective of my NFT assets.
Well, I think it's also interesting. Like the other day, I tweeted about it and stuff because we bought an NFT. I didn't buy it publicly at all, but the artist then retweeted tweeted that I had bought the NFT at like an all-time high price of one of her NFTs on Tezos, and which wasn't crazy. It wasn't like a crazy amounts of money. It was a good amount, but not like crazy. It was 250 Tez or something. And she was really, really happy. But what's interesting is like my wife was looking up purposely like fine art NFTs just across the board, not specifically Tezos, not specifically ETH or anything like that. And she sent me a few links, and a couple of the links were to Tezos NFTs. And so obviously that's where I gravitated towards, and I was totally stoked. And I think that most collectors, right, people who aren't, already, that don't already have, an Ethereum wallet or something installed, or specifically a Tezos wallet, they don't really care. They're just looking at fine art by a cool artist. And if you compare, on Tezos, the same artists are doing different works, different one-of-one works, and it's significantly cheaper a lot of the time. And I think it's really cool because I just think over time, the more bridges, the more lending products, the more money is flowing cross-chain, the more they'll sort of equalize.
Yeah.
When I was doing spaces for Otters, people didn't really know about Tezos at all in terms of projects launching on it. Everybody was quite surprised that we were launching Otters on Tezos. But the one side that you always heard people talking about was the one-of-one artists and the smaller artists. And a lot of the time that was because they can come and experiment on Tezos. They can throw out a piece of artwork and it's not going to cost them the earth to mint it. Whereas doing that on Ethereum, you have to be a lot more careful what you're doing because it is going to cost you money if you aren't able to sell it. So I think that's definitely helped on that side in terms of the actual artists selling NFTs on Tezos.
Some people are offended by that logic, like that it's that it's the experiment chain. I think it's great because as long as it's the entry point, whatever you want to call it, people are more likely to stay and not just see it as like the place to get your feet wet. And it goes to show like how easy it is to onboard onto Tezos. So if there whatever reasons that people have to leave the thing that they like their starter chain, if they think of it that way, like we'll just correct for that. And then we'll have more and more retention. That's a great place to be.
Well, I think too, it's like if you want to experiment with something and you go, oh shit, I don't necessarily want to launch a contract on Ethereum. I don't want to do this. I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars in gas fees to experiment with something. If the experiment works on Tezos, you pretty much are there, right? You're going to stay there. You're going to build there. You're going to work there. And to me, that's a huge point, right? Like the reason why Ethereum has such a large community is because that's where people started. And if Tezos existed in the way that it exists now, when they started on Ethereum, they probably would have started on Tezos just because of
Definitely.
So I don't know. I think it's a huge opportunity. So Joab, I know some of the things you guys are building like probably would not be so easy to do without charging tons of gas fees and things like that on Ethereum. Was that a consideration for when you guys launched on Tezos? What was the main reason you went Tezos versus anywhere else?
Yeah, when I was exploring kind of like where we were going to go, Definitely the cheap transaction fees, but also seeing that there was just like a really good infrastructure that had been developed for developers. That was something that really, piqued my interest. NFTs were growing. I could see momentum happening. I could see a community that was hungry for, for growth and for projects. So those factors, it's cheap. It's got the tools. They just need someone to build. They just need builders. And they got a community that's, diehard Tezos fans. So, yeah, and I see the trend still happening with Tezos. Like, community loves Tezos, community supports new Tezos projects and rallies behind them. I think it's a great time for builders. And yeah, I mean, I've thought of it also like, Tezos is kind of like this great place to like prove your concept or, experiment as well. I mean, like, I feel like, if you make it on Tezos, you can make it anywhere or whatever, but like the projects need to stay on Tezos and like need to really use the technology that's happening here. And
when I was originally like talked to about Tezos, somebody used the example of like ERC 1155 tokens. And they basically explained to me, and this wasn't my beginning of Tezos, but this was why somebody was launching a gaming thing on Tezos. And I don't think they ever launched the game part of their thing, so I'm not going to call them out or anything, but they're building on Tezos and they're awesome also. But they explained to me that what was really cool and different was that like an 1155 token on Ethereum is a multiple, like it's an NFT that has multiples, right? So like the poo.eth membership token, which I know a lot of you might have, was an ERC 1155, which means you can make 1,000 of them and they're all the same and you have one of the 1,000, right? And they were explaining to me that with the way Tezos worked and the Tezos kind of standard, I don't remember what it was called.
FA2. FA2 is the 1155 equivalent.
So the FA2 token standard would allow you to do multiples, but allow you to differentiate between the multiples in a way that Ethereum doesn't let you do. So on Ethereum, if you kind of follow like the provenance, you might be able to figure out that if I held like the poo.eth membership card and then I sent it to Joab and Joab sent it to Paggy, you might be able to know that was the one Alon had. But it's really no different than the other ones. But with the FA2 standard, what they explained is that if I had a card and I used it in a game and it was the one that won the world championship, that one is still unique. That 1 out of 1,000 might still be unique and has its own sort of provenance and its own value that is kind of written on chain. And the way it worked was really interesting. And they explained it in that context, right, of card games or games in general, right? Which I think really, really interesting and something that's different. But also just the way you can delegate tokens on Tezos is just very, very different. You don't have to put it into a contract and do things like that. And there's just lots of different technical aspects that make it.
There's a lot programmatically with FA2 that we haven't even started to explore in the ecosystem. Even with all these like with tickets and everything else that we can do, but and I think even just in general with marketplaces as well, like a lot of the conventions that are just the norms were modeled off of what are the norms in the Ethereum NFT community and in those practices. One thing in particular I mention a lot is that like these marketplaces like OpenSea and the others or whatever, like they'll have one marketplace contract and then everybody mints and then it all goes into that one contract, all the NFTs that are minted there. But that's because it's thousands of dollars, to deploy a smart contract onto Ethereum. It's not that, it's very cheap actually to put out a smart contract, just a whole smart contract on Tezos. So I think exploring the idea of a marketplace where every artist has their own individualized smart contract is something we haven't started yet, but it will be very
It's how OpenMinter was built, because if you looked at like the beginning days of like Rarible, one of the things I liked about it was you could, when you go to launch a contract, you would go to launch a collection, it was launching a brand new contract for that collection. And what happened was it went from costing a couple $100, which was insane, I thought at the time, to costing a few $1,000s because of the gas fees and everything. And so that was a big problem. That was actually why my son started selling the poopoo.eth memberships, because we launched a contract to do an airdrop. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm not paying for this anymore. That costs like $300 for this experiment. You're going to have to figure out how to pay for the next one yourself. And he came up with this scheme of selling his membership token so he could afford to do further drops on Ethereum, which is pretty cool, but it shouldn't be like that's insane, right? It's absolutely bonkers that an artist would have to pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars nowadays to do something like that.
Yeah. By the way, have you checked out Typed?
I was planning on doing some stuff on Typed based on your tweets, actually, but I haven't gotten to experiment yet.
Yeah, it's typed.art. Like it came out, I think, a week ago. And it's the unique things about it. It's just like text. You mint text NFTs. So typed, like past tense, .art if you're looking for it. And also like because it's just text and there's no images like that you have to like put a reference to IPFS or anything. It's all on chain, like purely on Tezos.
So the actual data, the text data lives on chain too. So it's not on a separate chain. It's on a separate place, not on IPFS
There's
or anything.
no partition there or anything. There's no bifurcation
I'm gonna write some poetry tonight. It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome. You know who should do it? We should get I might be one of like 4 people who collects these NFTs, but they bring me so much joy that you guys should check out. There's a guy who Miguel is calling me out for some battling on Tezotopia. We said we might do that live tonight. I don't know if we have time, but maybe we should try. But there's a guy who has a collection called Low Quality Facts on OpenSea. And I somehow, through some random thing, I don't know this person, I've never met this person, I have no connection to them, they started posting these NFTs on Twitter. And they're just the most ridiculous made up things. Like one of them, and every time he tweets one that just makes me laugh or my kids think is hilarious, we buy it. Like he tweeted something like yesterday, and I said it to my kids as if it was a real fact. And they were like looking at their hands, and then they totally knew I was screwing with them. But there was like, they're all really stupid, but they like make me so happy. I don't know why. Like one of them is like, did you know that your pinkies weigh twice as much as your thumbs? And like weird shit like that. That's just, it's like stupid stuff. Like we own one that's like bees make thicker honey while listening to reggae. Like doesn't make any sense. But I actually have my Decentraland plot is a gallery for low quality facts. Because like my kids and I just think they're hilarious. Somebody should make a low quality facts collection on typed art.
Oh, that would actually. But there's also, I think, the art of the handwriting that's in there too.
Yeah, I mean, but his handwriting is like just a scribble. It's like my scribble.
So someone to troll me without my authorization, they took my my default photo on Twitter. So if you look up Kevin Dow, I did not make this, but you can go to Kevin Dow on OpenSea.
I don't know. Now that you're telling everyone about it, we're all going to buy the tokens, and then it's going to come back to you.
There's some of them like went for a lot of money. But like, so yeah, it's a generative thing, and like some of them are like, like they'll put me in like different apparel and doing different stuff, like different versions of me, and a lot of them have me holding, instead of like, it takes the microphone I'm holding, replaces it with a dildo or a double dildo. Yeah, so a lot of there's a lot of that.
It's like I got old again.
Yeah. But
Kevin Dow version 2 as well.
It's parody, so I should get a verified Twitter profile, I feel, for that. Twitter has not agreed.
I think I'm launching Kevin Dow V2. Yeah.
At least it should be.
We should start doing new versions of the Kevin Dow. Like Kevin Dow, I don't know. Okay, so is typed art, what do you think is cooler on typed art? People that are taking like creating ASCII art and things like that and going kind of back in time, or people doing, poems? I kind of like just the plain text poems.
I like the plain text poems too, and I don't know. I feel like it's like a Twitter in a way, Web3 Twitter.
Well, I think it's to me like, for example, one of the things I love. Actually, I should have open for later.
Is there a character limit, or I haven't actually tried to mint anything?
Kevin, is there a character limit?
I don't know. I haven't checked. Someone did something interesting. I forget who it was. I want to say who it was. But like they filled a wallet with like, I think 15 Tez, and then they gave out their seed phrase, like one word at a time by minting each word successively in different increments on to typed. And then so you have to be vigilant. You have to watch for it. And then somebody did it and they were able to get the 15 Tez. But I thought that was a cool, unique idea.
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Like doing games like that and messing around is super cool. How long does it take, Joab, for me to battle my my guys?
A good like 5-10 minutes.
5 minutes. Should we try to do it? I have the
jump in there. I'm sure there's people eagerly watching you jump in there.
I see. There's a few people in the chat. Okay, here. Wait, hold on. Let me look at the questions we have because I feel like we should. Okay, let's do this first. Let's see what we can do. I think it'll be kind of fun because a real game, an NFT game in action. I'm gonna use Paggy's Tez and your game. It's gonna be fun. Kevin, have you done this yet? Have you battled?
I didn't know you could do that until you told me that you just found out.
Yeah, so I just found out. Let's try to do this. This should be funny. Okay, Chrome tab, Tezotopia dashboard. All right. Can everyone see my dashboard here?
Yeah.
I'm apparently totally uncool because I'm not.
You hit the sword icon down there.
The sword icon. I'm gonna battle. Hey, if anybody's watching, I know that a bunch of people bake.eth. Bring your warriors in here. I don't know if you can choose who you battle or what. Okay, so what do I do next?
And then I would just bring in all your Tez. So I think you can bring in all 9.
Oh dang, I should have 10. I think.
Okay, well 9's the cap.
Oh,
so
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go.
There you go.
9. So I got 9 Tez. They're all gonna battle. Finalize.
Yep. And that'll lock them in.
Do I hit lock units for battle?
Yep.
I got to. I think I gotta open this in a new tab.
Seed phrase.
My seed phrase is poo poo.
By the way, speaking of these warriors, Calamance, Chris Deshentes, he went to Ukraine to fight the Russians.
He's a champion. I love that man.
Got shot, actually.
He did?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's the update on him?
Yeah, okay.
How's he doing?
Recovering, but he got shot. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And he's okay now.
Yeah, I mean, he lived to tell us he got shot. Well, I found out through Victoria West. I don't know any more details.
All right, now I got to call him up tomorrow. Everyone listening, by next week, I will give you guys the Chris update. Holy shit, that's crazy. Hold on. Yeah, confirming my transaction. Holy moly, that's crazy. He did that weird kind of what's it called? I think we lost Kevin, but we got him back. Remove the other Kevin. There we go.
It was Putin.
I need to go back to that tab. Powering up humanoids. What does that mean?
It's loading the iframe now. It's loading the iframe.
Loading.
It's powering up your humanoids. It's charging them up for battle.
I like it. Come on, BB Studios. Yeah, heal up your warriors. Fight me. All right, here we go. This is cool. All right, units locked, transaction successful.
Army of Tez.
I got it. My army of Tez.
And then you hit tier 3 matchmaking, and that should match you with somebody.
All
Matchmaker,
right.
matchmaker, make me a match.
Hopefully there's somebody around.
Oh, we got music on here too. Can you guys hear that?
No.
No. Waiting for a point. Come on. Okay. You guys.
So those are energy drops. You can collect them, and that'll give you energy tokens.
Did I click on them? What do I do?
You can move your units to them, but I wouldn't do that because then people will know that you're just going for the energy. You can. The strategy right now is to delay until the third round. So you hit go to delay and just delay this round. This is kind of the way things are at this moment. Because if you drop them now,
BB Studios is calling it dirty play.
Hit end turn on the right.
Oh,
delay him again. You unclicked it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then end turn.
Okay. So now I got to deploy him to fight him?
Yeah, I would deploy him now and then just run into the center.
What do you mean? Like click on him?
Yeah, you can deploy him anywhere.
And then all of them or just that one guy?
The person's watching the stream, so he's going to match your moves and he's going to deploy him on top of you. But yeah, good luck.
That'd be awesome. Just put him anywhere?
Yeah, just drop him anywhere. Drop him toward the center. That's like usually the best.
How come
strategy.
I can't click in the center?
It's kind of like off limits to force people to either drop on each other and kind of speed the game along.
All right.
There you go.
And
then end turn. Yeah.
You gonna land on all of my guys?
Yeah, he might. I think he's only brought his Big Macs, which Big Macs kind of.
Oh wait, TKS, you were the one in the. Was TKS the one on YouTube?
He was in the chat a while ago. Yeah. Yeah, he was the one complaining about the sound.
Oh. He's just killing me. Oh, dude, those warriors are way bigger than our Atez. Okay, you know what? This just reinforces what I was saying before we started, that you need to give the Atez more battle power, or maybe some randomized something. I'm gonna campaign for another drop to Atez holders.
A giant Atez.
Oh dang!
Yeah, you're getting knocked out.
So are these guys just killing my guys basically because they're way bigger?
Pretty much, yeah.
Big Mac is funny.
How dare you, TKS?
So now you click your Atez.
Yeah.
Any one of them, and then hit attack.
What do you mean? Like just click on him and then hit attack.
And on the bottom, attack. Yeah.
And then I click on the dude.
Yeah, and then you can move him out of the way as well if you want.
No way. Battling to the death. Oh, this guy's not close enough?
Yeah, you can hit that other Big Mac on the other side, yeah. Just give him some damage. You're going to lose, but yeah, you give him some damage. Does not bode well for Atez.
Hey, so that's what I'm saying. Is there a way to like train my Atez up or anything like that, or we just got what we got?
Yeah, we're eventually going to launch like special moves for different units. So the Atez will have like a certain skill set, and the more experience that you got, you can train him up to that, and he'll be able to perform a special move. But right now, everything's essentially pretty basic until we incorporate those boosts. Hey, good.
No chance. I was thinking maybe I'd be able to get one of his guys, but I don't think so.
So you might be able to get that one guy that's in the red. Just lunge at him.
Yeah, so I think I think Atez deserves some special drop. Like, people who own more than 5 Atez should get like a super soldier version, a super Atez.
An Otter's tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Atez tank. You know,
You're still alive. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was cool.
Oh. Massacre of Atez.
All those dead Atez.
You still get a loot box.
Oh, I got something. What did I get? Oh,
You get
experience.
experience.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what do I do with XP points?
So like I was saying, the XP will be traded out for your special abilities. So you will be able to apply the XP to one of your Atez and upgrade it.
Oh, I will. So now I will be able to upgrade my Atez and make him better?
Yeah, in the future. Not yet. Not in this version
Okay.
right now.
I see. All right, cool. All right. That was pretty rad. That's a real game.
It's a real game on the blockchain.
That's super cool. So okay, so in the future, we'll be able to upgrade things. Can I, not me, like, because you're on here and it's me and we're talking, but like, can a random person like create new characters in there or build things up, or do you start, you know? Oh, see, Kryptonio says I was set up. See?
I didn't realize we were gonna get into heavy, and it was too late, and so I was like, "All right, just let him go."
It's all good.
What was the question again?
Oh, I was gonna say, can people like create new characters, or do you have to? You know, it has to be built into the game. Like, I couldn't drop a character for people, you know, in the game, right?
No. So we launch new units. We're trying to keep a schedule of like every 2 months we launch new units. But we will be launching. We have barracks, so you have your Tezos, your blocks of land, and on those blocks of land you can build a barracks, and the barracks will be able to produce new battle units. So you can be self-sustaining if you have a piece of land.
Can this become something that's like an esports situation? Because we got like that team vitality, yeah, but they're not like doing Tezos games. Like, you know, they're signed with Tezos.
Well, Misfits Gaming is doing.
Oh yeah.
Some tournaments, and so those will be announced here in the next few weeks.
That would be cool. I would love for, could we build in some team, you know, some like team features, right? Where like us 4 could join together to fight 4 other people that are teamed together, right? Like, you know, I think that could be pretty fun. Just think about it.
Or Team DGH, like you
That's
and
right.
Tim and Joseph, like come together.
Yeah. You know, I'm
Well,
thinking
it'd be cool to get different NFT projects having
boozers.
esports.
What's that,
Cool to get
Becky?
different NFT projects if they had their own esports teams in something like Tezotopia. That would be a cool thing to have.
You could even do like competitions within communities, right? Like the Atez community could get their strongest warriors, like they could have their own tournaments, and then the winners of the tournaments could then join forces to, you know, fight the Tezfin community, right? And like we could do all sorts of, you know, it'd be like the intramural sports of Tezos, right?
Yeah,
That'd be good.
Tezfin jerseys.
Dude,
That'll be good to see.
I would, okay, if we can make something like that happen, I'll sponsor the jerseys, and at LA Blockchain Summit, we're going to all get in like the same room and like, you know, with a big screen and fight each other on, I think it'd be pretty awesome.
Tezfin Stadium.
Tezfin Stadium.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my God.
That's just the next step. There's nothing in between. Nothing
in between. That's it. Tezfin Stadium, you know, the battle of Tezotopia. Atez warriors are going to have tanks by then. Joab, you got to make this right.
Yeah,
you can't just let the Atez die like
it's
that.
happening. They just were popping one by one.
Okay, wait. So we did talk about Tezfin has a big launch coming up, but we'll update everyone and do a special blockchain and booze probably and some live streams. So make sure to follow Kevin. Joab, you've got all sorts of things coming soon that you're kind of mentioning and talking about on Tezotopia. Paggy, anything new we need to know about before we sign off? Any big fun stuff in the Authez family?
Yeah, we're working towards Evolution, which is basically the next expansion of Authez. We're working through the details on that and getting the artwork drawn up, and we are trying to work out some different ideas as to how we can continue to expand the community. We're going to try and work out some ways as well to encourage some of the holders to start using their IP rights and maybe try and create some side shoots out of the community, that kind of thing. So yeah, we've got lots going on in the background, just trying to get some of it to the forefront, and obviously try and do some collabs like we did with Tezotopia and the Authez Warrior. So yeah, we've got some things coming, but they're still being worked on in the background at the moment.
That'll be really fun. That's So I'm looking through the comments. There's so many ridiculous ones.
Also, yesterday we announced hashtag Tezos for Africa. So that's
yes, please tell us about that.
So July 11th, that's when it's going to kick off. It's a Quokka project in a partnership with object.com. They're going to feature it. And so you can actually, so what artists can do is they'll be able to donate their works, and then people can purchase them for just because they like them or for the benefit of the project itself, for the initiative. And then those funds will be collected by a Quokka project account. And then that'll be secured by a multi-sig, and the distribution decisions will be controlled by a Tezos Africa Foundation. The whole goal is to get the first 10 self-sustaining permanent Tezos bakers in Africa going, so they could all have their first roll. So that's 10 bakers, the first roll. Well, because of Jakarta, that's like the only thing you call a roll. That's going to be 6,000 Tez per. So together it's 60,000 Tez. That's the goal, to make 60,000 Tez come together. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
I will. I promise Punk Ape Strong will donate some goofiness, and I'll make sure somebody buys it. Even if it's me.
Wonderful. He'll host a live aid of his own, I'm sure.
We can make him. We could. Well, he's hosted this show before. He can be there live. He can really do some stuff. It could be funny. But that's really cool. And by the way, something I totally forgot to throw out there that I was going to throw out at the very beginning. I just noticed this here. Don't tell anyone, because this is a part of the drop that I haven't featured yet. But Punk Ape Strong is putting together a drop. This is something that only one person in the drop will get. And now it's hiding again. But he's going to do a drop on Tezos, and it's totally free. And go to Punk Ape Strong's Twitter account and make sure you fill out that form. In the next few days, I'll probably finish up some of the content, and everyone that fills out the form will get something. But then there's going to be some gamified, like 10 people might get another thing. One person's going to get something else. One person might get so it's going to be super fun, because like, you might be one of 300 people that get the drop or something, but there'll be like one special thing. Also, I might do something, because the Authez community was hitting me hard after I posted that. And they said, well, you could easily do a query and drop everything to Authez holders. So Punk Ape Strong might do something special for Authez holders too, as part of the drop. But sign up on that form, because you'll get something free. Everyone who's already signed up for Blockchain Booze and given me their Tezos address there is going to get it also. But make sure you fill out the form, just in case you didn't do that. Any last words, guys, before we sign off and jump to the tables? Because we're a little over time. Tezos.
Tezos.
Tezos. Jakarta.
Tezos.
Doga.
Yeah. See you guys at the tables. If you aren't in here already, go to meet.blockchain.booze.io quick, and you'll be able to turn on your camera, hang out at the tables, and have some fun with us. Thanks, guys. Vegas Shirt Gang.